Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for coming. Welcome. Great to see you here today. This is our second celebration of our 50th anniversary. And how wonderful to see a room of our fellow Rotarians here. So if you guys would all stand up and we will get, first of all, thank you to Jennifer Applegate and Rob Schrader for being our greeters. Round of applause for them. Thank you. And I'm going to call Tammy to come up and give our invitation and our pledge. Tammy? Here she is.
Please pray with me. Dear Lord, as we gather here today to celebrate 50 years of Rotary Fellowship, service, and impact, we pause to give you thanks. Thank you for the visionaries who founded this club, for their courage, dedication, and belief in service above self. Thank you for every member, past and present, who has given their time, talents, and hearts to make our community and the world a better place. We are grateful for the friendships formed and partnerships built and the lives touched through 5 decades of shared purpose. Bless this meal we're about to enjoy in the hands that prepared it and the conversations it nourishes. In your name we pray. Amen.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, thank you, Tammy. Y'all can have a seat. We, last time I read the May birthdays, and I had forgotten the April birthdays. I want to read April birthdays. And I got a couple of laughs at Don's expense. Let me tell you, Don's bourbon is concentrated awesome. I have contacted him a number of times throughout the year to get his advice on this, that, and the other, and I really appreciate it, brother. Thank you. Our April birthdays, Patrick Reardon, April 2nd. Patrick here. All right, I don't see Patrick, but he may show up. Jim Cochran, Bea Gaska, Paul Rory, Kevin Brady, Jennifer Pinero, Emmy Andino, Melissa Ray, Jack Lesh, myself, yours truly, David Road, and Teresa Wackman. Teresa, I didn't know you had a birthday in April. I guess I did. Maybe I did. Well, round of applause for April birthday. And, you know, we have, golly, I'm going to try to get through just a whole bunch of this stuff. It's all good. Is Christine here? I mentioned her last week. She wasn't here. Christine Chapman was our woman of distinction this year. What a great volunteer, what a great server worker Christine is. Proud to have her recognized for an award like that. We have a lot going on, you guys. Natalie and her team at Haley Elementary School have relaunched our mentoring program over there. And Patrick, is Patrick here? Where's Patrick? Patrick has been active over at Haley Elementary School, working in the library. And so that's an area of service. If you guys would like to be mentors, I'm sure they can take as many of us as we can have over there. We have a blood drive on Thursday, June 5th. Stephen Bauer, nice job with that. Everybody that's here that was here knows we were recognized by the Gulf Coast Blood Bank for giving 250 gallons of blood. That was a very nice thing. So on June 5th, we will have a blood truck here, and we're going to continue that. This May 31st, we're going to have a bed delivery. So we've been building beds for people that don't have beds. Nobody sleeps on the floor in our town is the motto, and we're going to deliver beds on May 31st. So if you would like to be part of that, see Will Warren, and we'll get you all the details for it. Michael Moore has been in charge of our Meals on Wheels, and we need 2 or 3 more people to help with that. It's going very well. This is a weekly opportunity. It takes about an hour. These meals are in the same apartment complex, so you're not driving all over town, crisscrossing Houston to deliver meals, okay? It takes about an hour, and it's a very important thing. impacts people's lives in a very touching way. And if you would like to participate in Meals on Wheels, see Michael Moore. And thank you, Matt Pizzo, for that. Matt was volunteer for that. And, there you go. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Interact. If you want to work with high school kids, we have the largest Interact club in the United States. And we have the second largest in the world. I say Interact club, there's actually like 7 of them, there's only 5 of them. The only other Rotary club that has more Interact kids than we do is in India. So we're the king of Interact over here. And if you want to work with high school kids, you let us know because we will plug you in immediately for that. Next, I want to thank you. If you haven't seen our website lately, I want you to go see our website. Goward and Debbie have been working on that. Maybe a round of applause for what they've been doing. They have been burning the midnight oil working on that website, and it's not done. We have more stuff to put in there, but it is a quantum leap ahead of where we were. So thank you. And also, if you go to that website, it lists all the acts of service. Lots of places to plug in, folks. If you want to do something that, like Meals on Wheels, that's once a week, you can do that. Some of the opportunities are once a year. Some of them are, once a quarter, whatever. So the level of commitment is there, but there's 50 of them. We have 50 areas of service, which is appropriate given our 50th year, but there are 50 places where you can plug in. So go to the website and look at that and find what you would like to do and plug in, because we're people of action. Many of you have contributed notes for the time capsule. The time capsule that we're going to bury is over there on the fireplace, and if you would like to submit a note to the future and you haven't done that yet, then get that to Gower, and Gower will get it into the time capsule. Whole bunch of them are in there already. Kudos to Holly Arnold. That'll be a very fun thing to find 50 years from now. So write a note for the future and put it in the time capsule. Also, now one thing, I'll wait on that. I'll wait on that. Let me make a mark so I don't forget. I want to pause for the station. All right. Our past president, first of all, Teresa, do you want to say anything about what's going on back here with Interbase? What? You always got to be careful if you give them a microphone to a preacher, a lawyer, or a school board member. Politics.
I was going to say, I'm a past school member, board member. I don't want anything to do with it. Right now. We are in the back making bags for our seniors to be handed out at Interfaith. And so when our seniors receive their little meal bags, they'll have some nice little toiletries that are added to it. So if you are done with your meal, pop back and help us put one together. It'll make you feel good.
Okay, thank you. You got a service project right here today that you can complete before you leave lunch. I have something for us. Okay, while y'all are eating. Wasn't expecting this. Got something in the mail next day. I'm always nervous if I get something the next day because, it might come from a lawyer, Don, and that's never a good thing. So anyway, I got this package in the mail, and I hope that I will read you what it says. Okay, what happened? It says, at the heart of the Texas spirit lies an abiding desire to serve our fellow man, and the Rotary Club of the Woodlands has embodied this philanthropic impulse since 1975. Guided by the Rotary's values of service above self, the organization has made a lasting difference to the people of Montgomery County and its surrounding counties in their hour of need, and has no doubt changed countless lives for the better. Throughout your illustrious history, you have striven to build goodwill and peace while providing humanitarian service and encouraging high ethical standards. And you have no doubt made tremendous progress on this front. with service projects that include eradicating disease, providing low-cost housing to families and patients at the Woodlands Medical Center, and funding scholarships. Your investment of time and treasure is the foundation for a prosperous future for many. For 50 years, you have upheld the very values and vision that first called the Rotary Club of the Woodlands into being, and your longevity speaks volumes about the place of prominence you have attained in your community. I therefore join the grateful state in applauding your admirable service. The Lone Star State will no doubt reap the fruits of your labor for years to come, and consequently, you will have a key role to play as we work together to build the Texas of tomorrow. On this special occasion and hereafter, I hope that you feel deep satisfaction in the impactful work that you have done, and that you look to the future with renewed enthusiasm. You have thus far made Texas a better, brighter place, and I have full faith that the best is yet to come. First Lady Cecilia Abbott joins me in extending best wishes. Signed, Greg Abbott, Governor of Texas. Now I called, this is interesting. I called and I talked to the governor's office and said, hey, thank you. And turns out they saw something in the media about our vote list at Barnes & Noble. And they thought, well, that was fun, that's interesting. And so they got on our website, they got on our Facebook page and started looking around and everything, and said that deserves some recognition. And they sent us this very nice thing from the governor. The governor said, that needs to happen, let's do that. And so that's how it happened. I was a total surprise to me, but congratulations to the club from the governor of Texas. I would like to recognize on this 50th anniversary our charter members. I have a list of the people who started this club. Bill and Tom, y'all will recognize these names, no doubt. Barney Dossier, is that the way you pronounce it? Dozier? Barney Dozier, thank you. Courtney Shaw, great man. Colson Tuff, Charles Kelly, Vernon Robbins, Larry Cash, Ralph Manning, Roger Broach, Don Rozak, Dick Smith, Jim Godbold, Ed Robertson, James Pitchford, Marvin Agnew, Tom Durrell or Dorrell? Durrell? Thank you. I want to pronounce his name correctly. Jim Feldman, Bob Gustafson, David Powell, Bill Beal, Tom Vogt, and Bill Lee. How about a round of applause? Past president, I'd like to ask you to come up so that we can recognize our past presidents of the club. And if you would like to say something, I'd ask you to make it quick, but if you would like to address the club, it's perfectly appropriate for any of our past presidents that would like to say something to have the opportunity to do that. And I will start with Tom Vogt, who was one of our charter members. And brother, this is your legacy right here.
Thank you. It's really a privilege to be here and take part in this incredible event. Back in so long ago, late 74, early 75, maybe you all recognize Vern Robbins, who had been a member of the Rotary Club in Columbia, Maryland, came here and decided he wanted to start a club in the Woodlands. So he gathered a group of us together, and we reached out then to a number of people. We actually had 28 people on the charter list, 6 of whom never showed up to a meeting. So we ended up with 22 people at our charter banquet on May 19th of 1975. So this is exactly almost 50 years, as you know, to the day. The were a couple things about the club that are important. One of them was we didn't want to be known as a club that only was from the Woodlands, and went out of our way to bridge I-45 and make the club representative of the entire southern part of Montgomery County. And I look back and I think about what a stroke of genius that was, because it provided vitality not only to the club, but created relationships that bridge the interstate. The other thing that I always remember, 1988, I still call it the year of the woman, was changed the club forever. And you may have heard me talk about it before. We actually, it was like a summit meeting. We decided that we were going to take a vote in the club as to whether we would accept women as members or not. We had no right to do that. The International Rotary Club had already decided what we were going to do. But we felt like we needed to make a statement on behalf of our club about how we're going to move forward. So we took a vote, and it was all but 2 people voted in favor, both of whom quit immediately. The first woman member was a lady by the name of Tony Baker, who ran the title company in the Woodlands. And the rest is history. We're in the room, half of the room is our women members. So what a great thing that was. I think that's about it. I talk too much most of the time anyway. So thank you all for being part of this great effort. It's a great legacy.
It was really cool. I nominated Tony and another lady who didn't get in then, later got in, later became the president. And Tony immediately went on the officer track, but found out she was pregnant. And accordingly, and I have no way of verifying this, our club had the first Rotarian in the history of the world that gave birth. And Tony gave birth to her daughter Holly, and resided in the club some years back. But it's been an interesting run, and the time has gone by much faster than I thought it would. So, congratulations to all of y'all, and thank you for making all of us proud.
And you have time to, would you want to say something? Ann may have to cut out, but come on up, Ann, and then we'll.
Well, have many fond memories of this club. When we moved here in the 80s, the very first organization that I belonged to was the Woodlands Rotary Club. And there were very few women. In fact, I had the honor of serving as the first woman president. And I don't know who the vote was. It was an honor. Our very first, this is just trivia, our very first board meeting, and that's when we met at the tournament course, then was known as the TPC, was in the men's locker room. And so it was an interesting board meeting. But with that said, our next meeting was not. But what I'll always be so grateful is the impact that this club has made on community service. We were known that that's what we did, and had a major project, one restoration of Tamina, and would go over there and as a club would repair homes, do maybe new front porches, things like that. But it was a gift to many people, and we'll have the fondest memory. The second would be Interact. Did it for with Corky, and Tom introduced me to that in the early 90s, late 80s. You had already been, but it was a club that just continued to grow and convey the message of the importance of community service. So it's exciting to see all of you continue that. Thank you very much, and have a great.
First, just to ask you to be brief. We have a lot more past presidents here than I was expecting, actually. But that's wonderful, great news. And then after we're done here, we'll have a ceremony of cutting of the cake.
Okay, so I would like to say thank you to the club for being so welcoming to me. So when I joined, I was 23, and I was the youngest member in the room until Zach Richmond joined several years later. So Rotary has been a completely transformative experience for me, and leading the club has been one of my life's great honors. And it's something that I'm really looking forward to sharing with my children when they get older.
My badge says I was president in 92, 93. I assume that means 1992 and 93, not 1892 and 93. When I was president, I had recommended to the board that all new members be 5 feet 4 inches or shorter. But unfortunately, they never followed my advice. But other than that, when I was president, I recommended that we meet with the other service clubs in the community, and that continued. But when I called up the Conroe Rotary Club about meeting with us, not only was it no, but hell no. In those days, there was tremendous animosity between the clubs. I'm hoping in today's day and age that's all gone. But I've always encouraged everyone to get active in Rotary. Before I was president, I was 6'6". I had abs of steel, long blonde hair like an Adonis, and you can see what being president has done to me. It's very sad. So although I recommend that everyone get involved in Rotary, please understand there are side effects.
I was president 2004, 2005, which was Rotary's centennial year. And we had a centennial project of which we did over at Canada, we did a park. We were lucky enough to get Joe Garrison to get us the playground equipment that the Woodlands changed out every 5 years. So we were over there, and actually Natalie's dad, Ron, shepherded that for me, and I think it's still there today. But I want to thank Ann for getting me involved. Ann for getting me involved in the board and putting me there. Like I said, it was our 30th year. I remember we had our 30th party. Our entertainment was Terry Brown and Julie Martin. So you never know. We had talent in this group here. So it's been a long time. And then when I rode off into the sunset, CJ asked me to, after 6 months of being a past president, CJ said our treasurer was having a problem, so I became the de facto treasurer 20 years ago, which will end next month. I am retiring, so Rotary's given so much back to me. I lived my life with a 4-way test. A couple of the big things that happened in my year were the hanging Chad, and I was able to give Tom Vogt his 30th year perfect attendance. I mean, think about that, guys. How many are here every week? He had 30 years. So, Tom, thank you for that, and your service to Rotary is appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, Ben Cannon. I am so honored to be part of this club and to have been the past president. In that year, we really tried to focus even more on service. This club historically has been so focused on service, and we've really made that the highest priority. And
youngest, I think I was the second youngest. I think you joined right after me. So anyhow, 10 years ago we kicked off Rotary House. That was a huge initiative for this club as a legacy project. At the same time, we decided to start an afternoon or evening club called Rotary After Hours. Some of you are members of Rob. And then we decided to change venues. So it was right after my year that we decided to move from the resort to this beautiful venue here. So a lot of changes in my year. It was a great time. I think what I cherish about this club is the friendships, and those friendships span generations. Right? I'm hanging out with people that are my parents' age. Right? I'm hanging out with people that are younger than me. The Don Sturmans of the world that used to be taller than me are now shorter than me. It's great. And that's what I cherish about this club. The friendships that I've made, just that span generations. So, thank you.
I'm Bob Sharper. I was president in 2009 and 10. This was long before the galas and the wine dinners. We did Oktoberfest. And we had a great time playing Oktoberfest in Tunbridge Park. I got to know the club members and the club itself from a historical standpoint and doing the research for the book that I wrote. And I can't tell you how much I enjoyed being a part of this organization.
My name is Jay Knighton. So when we get, what they left out is when we are elected president, most of the board members will share with us, just don't mess things up. I was president during 2020, 2021, which was, COVID, so it shifted to just make sure people show back up. And we go back to a lot of meetings, so we went to video meetings that year. There's a lot of challenges, but it was a testament to how resilient this club is, because we have real rock star Teresa followed me and really used that as a launching pad to get us to where we are today. 50 years during the middle of COVID, there was questions of would we have stuff like this when we show back up, and it's just a testament to this community and the Rotarians that we have involved, and old members that have been here so long and built this foundation that we have today, all the way to the new people joining. It's been an honor to be a part of this, and that was an interesting year, but I'm so happy to see where we are today and the leadership we have. Thank you.
Afternoon, I'm John Hathaway. I was president in 1989 and 90s. I think it was probably the last year before we had women in the club, so we had to do a lot more work then. Anyway, I'm very proud. I've been a member of Rotary for 42 years, and other than 3 years when I was in exile in Oklahoma and I joined a small club up there. Rotary has been a very important part of my life. I don't want to be the downer here, but my disappointment is that we've only had, from a club this large and this important, we've only had one district governor. And I think that's so I think that's a function of our club not participating in Rotary at a higher level. And by that I mean district, zone, and international. And I encourage you, I go to the district conferences and there's only 2 or 3 of us that are out of a club of 200, and that's an embarrassment. We do have a international convention coming up next month in Calgary, and there's still plenty of room available if anyone wants to jump on at the last minute. I would love to see you go up there. And I do issue a challenge to us for the next 50 years to get more active and have more than one district governor in the next 50 years.
Hi, Julie Martineau, President 2015-2016. I just want to say thank you to all of you all. You all are incredible people. Lots for me to be proud of for what our club does, and the opportunity to be friends with you and get to know you. And especially since I got to bring my daughter in my year, Adrian Salas, it's fun to have multi-generational people involved, Craig, Bruce, several other people. So Thank you all for what you all do, the difference you make in this community. It's amazing. Thanks.
Good afternoon again, Teresa Wagaman. I was president number 47, but before I talk about just a little highlight of my year, I definitely want to talk about 46. And what we don't realize is during COVID, when everything was shutting down, Jay Knighton, our president, and our entire board had to pivot and think outside the box and keep our club afloat and help this club stay afloat by keeping our meals going, donating them to our first responders, looking for ways to be creative at the hospital to help our hospital employees. Jay really steadied the ship and kept us going and got us back on track. We really wouldn't have a club if it hadn't been for his leadership and the leadership of our board. But then 47 came, and we had a party. Tammy Schroeder, who's here, was our queen. She was the chair of our ball, and we had a Mardi Gras. And it was such a wonderful time to see everybody's faces and to see everybody gathering together. We had tons of community projects, and people were so ready to get back out there and have this fellowship in the community. And so I am so grateful to be part of this organization. You have given me so many opportunities, and I've had the opportunity to learn and grow from some incredible leaders. And so thank you for 15 years, and let's do another 15.
I am part of the elderly crew. My name is Virgil Yoker, 91, 92. And back in those days, it was there was a limitation on the number of upper management personnel for the Woodlands Development Corporation that were found in the club. So I had to wait my turn to get in. And then I was introduced to Rotary by two gentlemen, one named David Dollarhide, who back then claimed to be the king of Rotary, and a gentleman by the name of Randy Woods, who was the PR person for the Women's Development. He also hosted the Bottom of the Lake Festival for the company, and I think he had a little bit, I think it was on the booze cruise, and dove into Lake Woodlands and busted his head on the slope of the side slope. I was the senior engineer that helped build Lake Woodlands, so that was fun. The thing about Rotary for me is the club sent me to Mexico City, where the international convention was held. My wife and I, Catherine, went there, and there was, as I recall, 65,000 in attendance at that conference, and it's giving me goosebumps now.
Career Center. She was a realtor here, very active in a number of organizations, and a Rotarian. She passed away a couple of weeks ago, and her family decided to have a very small, family-only celebration in Fort Worth. Mary Madison Parish is hosting a celebration next Wednesday, the 28th. It'll be at Papa Amadeus, which is at the corner of Booty Road and Sawdust, 4 o'clock. If you know Barbara and want to come and share witnesses of Barbara, please join us. And if you have questions, you can just reach out to me, and I'll be glad to share more information. Thanks.
We have a picture of all of our past presidents over there.
Hold on, Julie.
Okay. All right, y'all enjoy some cake. Thank you. And not to, I want Will to know, I did not forget, if you are a guest, would you all stand up just so we can recognize you being here today? We are thrilled you're here. Thank you. Thank you. I think you can tell this is a dynamic place, and we'd love to have you as a member. So we'd love to see you back. Come stick your toe in the water, see what this is all about. This is a great group of people, people of action who make things happen in our community right here. All right, lost my place again. Gower and Sean, you're up. We have a little 1970s trivia for you. And I'm going to hand the microphone over to Gower. You guys take it away.
Thank you, Denton. All right, everyone. This is our round 2 of our Rotary Club of Woodlands Trivia Day. We are running a little bit late, so I'm going to actually expedite stuff as much as possible here. So, and if you were here last week, this is a new round of questions, so there won't be any cheating or anything. Basically, you'll notice on each one of your tables, there's a answer sheet. You'll need to actually come up with a name for each one of your tables. Make it creative, make it fun. And you'll have to put 30 seconds to answer each question. At the end of round 3, exchange your answer sheets to the table next to you for scoring. Each correct answer is worth 1 point for a maximum possible total of 25 points. Once you've scored your neighbor's sheet, go ahead and return it to them. And then each table will have to announce their team name and score to determine the winner. So we'll give you about 30 seconds to come up with an entertaining name for your table. Be creative. Make sure you have someone who is able to write down your answers. Oh, and the correct end is actually still trivia from 1975 up to 2025. And focus on the 70s. So that's the 15 seconds left. Come up with your name. All right. Here we go. We are ready for round 1, question 1. If it will move, maybe it won't. All right. First question is a sports-related question. Who broke the Major League Baseball single-season home run record in 1974? And I think Sean already knows the answer to this one. You have 15 seconds left. Now, if Sean was actually on your table, you would at least have 1 point. That's why he is not at any table. All right, we're on to round 2, question number 2. What did Coca-Cola launch in 1979 to compete with Pepsi's Mountain Dew? 79 was a very good year. That was the year I was born. Just cutting under the wire. All right, we have about 15 seconds left. Why did Coca-Cola launch in 1979 to compete with Pepsi's Mountain Dew? All right, we are moving on to the next question. Round 1, question 3. What was the boat named in Jaws? How many get paid that much attention? No hints, Sean. Just under 15 seconds left. What was the boat named in Jaws? All right, we're moving on to round 1, question number 4. What iconic home computer was first released in 1977? John was just busting there, waiting to give an answer, I think. What iconic home computer was first released in 1977? Alright, we're moving on to the next question. What comedian was the very first host of Saturday Night Live on its first show in September of 1975? Which comedian was the very first host of Saturday Night Live on its first show in September of 1975? Has it just celebrated its 50th year on ourselves? It certainly came up with it in the news. So we're moving on to question number 6. Though the only TV doctor, what actor received an honorary MD from Columbia University's Medical School in 1979? The only TV doctor, what actor received an honorary MD from Columbia University Medical School in 1979? He's done a lot of receptions on television. All right, question number 7. What was John Travolta's character's first name in Saturday Night Fever? What was John Travolta's character's first name in Saturday Night Fever?
I know I forgot something.
All right, we are moving on to round 1, question number 8. Prior to her solo career, which all-female 70s rock band was Joan Jett a member of? Prior to her solo career, which all-female 70s rock band was Joan Jett a member of? All right, we're moving on to question number 9. British band Supertramp released this album in 1979. British band Supertramp released this album in 1979. I've come to realize I had a lot of 1979 questions in this set.
It was a good year.
It was a great year.
No, it really was.
Moving on to question number 10. Which disease was officially declared eradicated by the World Health Organization in 1979? Which disease? Tying back into disease prevention and eradication as one of our areas of focus with Rotary. And as we know, it wasn't polio. Which disease was officially declared eradicated by the World Health Organization in 1979? was the end of round one, which was the 1970s. We're moving into 1980 to 1999. Question number one. What was the name of the model who married David Bowie in 1992? Less than 15 seconds left. I think I heard one person mention the name. What was the name of the model who married David Bowie in 1992? Next question. Which 1983 movie was first to become a hit largely due to MTV? Which 1983 movie became the first to become a hit largely due to MTV? All right, we are ready to move on to question number 3 in a second. Here we are. Which actor played Dr. Peter Venkman? That might be a good hint if you don't know who Dr. Peter Venkman was if you were actually watching the screen. Less than 15 seconds left. All right. Round 2, question 4. Who played the role of Alex D. Keaton in the sitcom Family Ties? For anyone who remembers that, I'll give you a little hint. It does tie into, I'll say, my Canadian background. My little plug. Who played the role of Alex D. Keaton in the sitcom Family Ties? Alright, we are on to round 2, question 5. Who played the role of Screech in Saved by the Bell? Who played the role of Screech in Saved by the Bell? We have less than 15 seconds left. Alright, we are on to question number 6. Who was the first woman appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court in 1981? Who was the first woman appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court in 1981? All right. We are about to have question number 7. What was the name of the coffee shop in Friends? What was the name of the coffee shop in Friends? All right, we are going to be moving up into question number 8. What was the name of the baby rescued from a well in 1987, capturing national attention? What was the name of the baby rescued from a well in 1987, capturing national attention? The biggest thing I remember about this event was that they didn't air a television show I really liked because they were basically having it live. I can't remember what the television show was now. All I remember is that I was very upset because it was like a season finale or something. Moving on to question number 9. Who sang the 1992 hit, I'm Too Sexy for My Shirt? Who sang the 1992 hit, I'm Too Sexy? Question number 10 of round 2. What legendary University of Nebraska football coach, a future politician, won 3 world championships in the 1990s? I know there's a few football fans in amongst the group, so I'm pretty sure at least there'll be one team that will get this. Which legendary University of Nebraska football coach, a future politician, won 3 championships in the 1990s? All right. We are on to 2000 to 2025. Question number 1. Which international treaty aimed at addressing climate change was adopted in 2005? Which international treaty aimed at addressing climate change was adopted in 2005? One of the newer growing areas of focus. Question number 2, round 3. What duo reminded us to shake it like a Polaroid picture in 2003? Shake it like a Polaroid picture. All right, which duo reminded us to shake it like a Polaroid picture in 2003? By the way, I apologize for my singing. I wasn't sure how the audio would work. We are on to round 3, question 3. What was the name of the NASA rover that landed on Mars in 2004? What was the name of the NASA rover that landed on Mars in 2004? I think it was supposed to have like an 80-day mission that lasted like 9 years or something like that. All right. Second to last question, round 3, question 4. Which 2012 movie marked Daniel Craig's 3rd outing as James Bond and featured the villain Silva? I know there's a few James Bond fans here. The question is, how familiar are you with Daniel Craig movies? So, which 2012 movie marked Daniel Craig's 3rd outing as James Bond and featured the villain Silva? All right, our last question. Which musician, whose words remind us that answer is blowing in the wind, won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 2016? Which musician, whose words reminded us the answer is blowing in the wind, won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 2016? At the end of this question, we'll then be handing around your answer sheets to the neighboring table for scoring. And we'll give you about 30 seconds. All right, so go ahead and exchange your sheets to your neighbor next to you for scoring, and then we'll move on to the answers in about 20 seconds or so. All right, and a second there now. All right, so has everyone had an opportunity to change your answer sheets? Going once, going twice, we are on to the answers. So, round 1, question 1. Who broke the Major League Baseball single season home run record in 1974? That was Hank Aaron. Obviously, if anyone does put down Aaron, that is still perfectly acceptable. What did Coca-Cola launch in 1979 to compete with Pepsi's Mountain Dew? That was Mellow Yellow, or Mellow, you can put down yellow with the W, but branding-wise, it didn't have the W. What was the boat named in Jaws? That was the Orca. Which I heard a few sighs that time. What was the boat named in, what iconic home computer was first released in 1977? That was the Apple II. I'll accept Apple. As long as it's in the right family, that's fine. Which comedian was first to host Saturday Night Live? That was George Carlin. Carlin is good. Though he was only a TV doctor, who received an honorary MD from Columbia University? Alan Alda. Alan Alda of MASH. What was John Travolta's character's first name? That was Tony or Anthony. Either one's good. Prior to her solo career, which all-female 70s rock band was Joan Jett in, that was the Runaways. Question number 9. Supertramp's album in 1979 was Breakfast in America. Question number 10. Which disease was officially declared eradicated by the World Health Organization? That was smallpox. All right. We are on to round 2's answers. What was the name of the model who married David Bowie? That was Iman. Iman. Which 1980s movie was first to become a hit largely due to MTV? That was Flashdance. Flashdance. Which actor played Peter Venkman? That was Bill Murray. Bill Murray. Obviously, if you put down Murray, that's good. Who played Alex P. Keaton? That was Michael J. Fox. Michael J. Fox. Who played the role of Screech in Saved by the Bell? And if you didn't get this, I really wouldn't worry too much about it because I also didn't know. Dustin Diamond. Dustin Diamond was the name. Who was the first woman appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court? That was Sandra Day O'Connor. Sandra Day O'Connor. What was the name of Starbucks? Sorry, what was the Starbucks on my mind? What was the name of the coffee shop in France? That was Central Perk. Central Perk. What was the name of the baby rescued from a well in 1987? That was Baby Jessica, or Jessica McCure. Either one works. Who sang the 1992 hit, I'm Too Sexy? That was Right Said Fred. Right Said Fred. What legendary University of Nebraska football coach, future politician? That was Tom Osborne. Tom Osborne. That is the end of the round 2 answers. Moving on to round 3, question 1. The international treaty was the Kyoto Protocol. Kyoto Protocol. Question number 2. Who wanted you to shake it like a Polaroid picture? That was Outcast. The NASA lander was Opportunity. Opportunity. Question number 4. The James Bond movie was Skyfall. Skyfall. And which musician? That was Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan. Basically breaking over from the music industry and finally getting recognized. All right. If you want to hang your sheets back to the original table, we will go around and Debbie has some wonderful prizes, especially if you have a sweet tooth. All right, I'm going to just take a few more minutes to return your sheets back to their original table. Then you're going to need someone to actually say your team name and what your score was. So I'm going to start down in this end here and work my way along. All right, Ryan.
This is the nameless table, but we got 14.
Woo! 14.
We are the tough guys and a woman, and we got 14.
Alrighty. Who's all right.
We're the know-it-alls, and we got 17 out of
17.
We are the leftovers. Well,
Still good showing.
We are the Rockettes, and we got less than those.
Yeah, she scored quite well. They got 12. They did well.
We are the Rotary Rock Stars, and we got 14.
All right, can we get here?
We are the Golden Gods of Rotary, and we got 35. Actually, we got 8.
All right, John.
We're the PPGs, and we got 10.
All right, so I think, yeah, I was going to say, there we go. Yes, who was the team with 17? Thank you so much. I hope you had fun. This is our winning table right here. Thank you, everyone.
working so hard. We really do appreciate the food and this beautiful room that you prepare and that you clean up when we're done and everything. Thank you very much. Your work is appreciated, and you are appreciated. Thank you very much. And I am just, you what? I lost, take a picture?
Yeah, group picture.
We're over.
A group of everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah, we can do that. Roger. Roger is coming forward. Give a round of applause to Roger. A brand new car.
All right, well, first of all, I think everybody should know this is Todd's fault. He called me 2 days ago and he said, hey, I need a favor of you. And I said, okay, go ahead. Hey, you know, you're a fellow with everything. Please tell me what I had to do. So anyhow, I asked him if he did remind me. He said, by the way, don't forget to bring the joke or two. And I said, God, I can't tell the jokes I know. He said, well, look something up. So I did. So anyhow, I want to let you know, by the way, before I forget, we did get $75 today. And I didn't keep it. I had somebody actually advised me, have 2 people count it before you turn it over. We will. Why? Well, I had 2 people count. So, one of the things I want to do is, there's 2 or 3 things I'll tell you today. One has to do with our president, Denton, his Rotary battle cry. Being a Rotary member during the 50th celebration is definitely we lead rewarding. Get it? Wheel. Rotary, wheel, we lead rewarding. I told you I'm not used to doing plain jokes. Okay. The next one, this is actually kind of interesting. There were 2 fish, one named Denton and the other one was named Mary Lou. They were just floating around Lake Conroe Cove when the fish said, hey, let's go swimming around the lake. Mary Lou, the other fish, said, well, I don't know if it would be safe because the water is pretty murky. That's when Denton, the other fish, he said, no problem. I know my way around the lake. So off they went. Soon afterwards, while swimming along, they both hit a wall, and that's when Denton, the other fish, he turned around to Mary Lou and said, damn. This one has to do with, Denton has a lawnmower that was broken and it wouldn't run. Mary Lou kept hinting to him that he should get it fixed. But somehow Denton always had something else to take care of first, and in his mind those little things always seemed more important. So Mary Lou thought of a clever way to make her point. So one day, while Denton was off having coffee with friends and talking about flying, when he arrived home later that morning, he found Mary Lou seating in tall grass, snipping away the grass with a tiny pair of sewing scissors. So Denton, watching silently for a few minutes, he walked into the house, but he wasn't gone for long, but just a few minutes. When he returned, he handed Mary Lou a toothbrush. And he said, hey, when you finish cutting the grass, you might as well sweep the driveway too. Well, you guessed it. The doctor said Denton will walk again, but he's always going to have money. Oh, and now Denton pays someone else to mow the lawn and sweep the driveway. So, and by the way, we have a $25 Outback, Ralph Schroeder. And he did buy some tickets today, so we'll see if he can sell. Mr. Longboard Mower. Got a ticket? There's a ticket. Winning number is 501-31
first, I'd like everybody to have a glass of sparkling apple cider, and I'd like to have a toast. And then when we're done, we're all going to take a picture over here. But before we take a big group picture, we're going to do one other thing. But let's stand up and have a toast to recognize this great club. Bill and Tom, your legacy, among your other charter members who have gone on. What a great thing this is. What a great organization. What an incredible group of people all of you are, each and every one of you. This is a magnificent recognition of everything that this club has done for this community up to this point that we celebrate, and we look forward to everything that's going to happen in the next 50 years that the rest of us and those people who join us will get done in the next 50 years to help our community fulfill our motto of service above self. So raise a glass and cheers to all. And before you get away, I'd like you to get your phones out, and I'd like you to take a selfie with yourself and or other people around your table. Take a picture, and then I want you to post those, and I want you to tag Rotary, tag our club, and this will commemorate this day where we celebrated our 50th anniversary. And Andres will walk around to anybody that needs help tagging something, but take a selfie and let's get those posted. And let's have some social media exposure with this. Thank you very much. When you're done with that, let's move over to the fireplace over there and let's take a group picture. Yes, the down on the end.
están saliendo.
And we're stopping this meeting. Thank you.